All right, so it's 5 o'clock sharp and we're starting right away. So good evening, everyone. Once again, I'm Testimony Adebi, the head of media and communications at TechSemester. I welcome you all to day one of the GIT Tech program. This program was organized by TechSemester to get at least 1,000 people started in tech between the next 2 weeks. So you might be thinking 1,000 people, yeah, I know that's quite ambitious, but looking at the world today where we are facing so much problems and with creativity and innovation, we believe that tech is one of the answer to solving most of these world problems. This is why we are on a mission to train people with the skills and knowledge that they need to get started on building a successful career path in tech. So today we'll be having Mr. Arinze Oyasibulem talk to us on how to build a career, how to choose a career path in tech. But before I hand over to him, I would quickly like to read his profile. So Arinze is a co-founder at TechSemester, an ambitious edtech startup looking to help empower 500,000 tech talents over the next 5 years. TechSemester is one of the 12 startups to get into Data Scientist Network's first ever AI startup incubator. He's also a technology associate at Techidia Institute, Africa's largest business school by student number. Arinze is passionate is very possible in our day. We'll be talking to us on how to choose a career path in tech. You're welcome, Mr. Arinze. You have the floor now. Do you know if you can hear me?
Okay, thank you very much, Testimony, for the introduction. Good evening, everyone. Kindly confirm you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, amazing. Thank you very much. So good evening. I'm Arinze. I'll be leading today's session, the first one for GIT 1.0, helping you get started in a tech career path. So yeah, the program is designed to help everyone who will be participating. So whether you're joining us live on Zoom or you'll be watching the recorded session over the streamed YouTube channel, the session is designed to help you get started in the tech space. That's the goal. And we want to ensure that we achieve that. So yeah, before I go ahead, I want to do a quick lecture on how to use this Zoom feature. So if you are joining with your mobile, I'm not sure if I remember how to use navigation on the desktop. So if you are joining the Zoom call with your mobile device, click on More. And aside the menu options you see at the bottom, you see different emojis and different reaction buttons. You can see I'm using the thumbs up reaction right now. I think there's also the raise hand feature. Yeah, there's the yes icon and all. So you could use all of that to make different reactions during the session so that we can use that to capture feedback actively. So yeah, when I'm too fast, use the fast forward button. If I'm too slow, use the guide, the slow down button. And yeah, there's the yes. Could also try to give reactions to help me know that okay, what you said that was like maybe I want to say right, stuff like that. So yeah, and then when you have a question, you could as well use the raise hand to ask your question. So yeah, I'm going to jump right in. Let me see if I can share my screen. So I should note that I'll be sharing my screen from a different device. So let me know when you can see that. Okay, I think it's here now.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
All right. So yeah, I'll be taking us on an excursion on how to do the career path in tech. How, in case you've not registered, you could visit the link bit.ly GIT by TS, getting step by TechSemester. So yeah, how to start the career path in tech. So yeah, there's this technology, this trend rather, of technology everywhere, and so much that everyone is leading to start a career in tech because everybody's already moving, and if you do not join, you are left in tech space, pressure, peer pressure, fear. And I think most of those conditions, if not corrected now, will cause some faulty outputs later on in the future. You know, someone who's 50 years old just transitioning to tech without purpose, and the reason you're transitioning out of your former role is because you're unable to find passion as well. You turn into a place where there's worse, there's something worse than that. Probably you just mistaken by transitioning into becoming a DevOps engineer, back-end engineer, or something that you have to do thousands of troubles of life, volumes of what people call big data today. That's really horrible. So why the trend? Can we just analyze and dive into a very critical analysis? Why is the technology trend today that when all of the okay, so can hear me. There's a comment. Network is breaking.
Yeah, your line is breaking.
Oh wow. Is there something about that? Can you hear me? I think I'll just have to continue.
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Okay, so yeah. Now, the first I have here is that actually technology brings value to humanity, to economies, and to industrial revolutions.
I think it's still breaking. Could you put up your video and let's see if it would be more if it would be better?
Okay. I'm hoping it's better now.
Yeah, it
so
is.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, technology brings value to humanity, economies, and industrial revolution. So yeah, I'm here in Lagos, and I'm very sure some people are joining from Ilorin, from Ibadan. Probably a few people will be watching YouTube live later on, from different parts of the world, but they can all connect to this particular session and share in the information that we are disseminating during this session, and that is only possible via technology. Some time ago, I think I call that say juju or what you call it. But today, technology has legalized that, and then you can actually talk to somebody over long distances and not just send a message and they receive later, but you can actually have live interaction. That's value. Now, beyond that, imagine you sitting in the comfort of your home and then you order, and then just maybe 2 hours later, 3 hours later, where you have Amazon same day delivery, and the commodity you ordered is now on your doorstep. And look at education. Look at when we had the pandemic, via the application of technology, people were able to continue education via the provisions of technology. The primary thing that is making technology to have this level of attention is value, nothing more, not money. People think that the trend around technology is because of the money. You are wrong. It's because of the value. And we're going to see how that value has now translated into money. So now every nation, every business, therefore, wants to be tech empowered. Why do they want to be tech empowered? Because of the amount of value that technology brings to the table. So first of all, let's think about something that is very recent. Look at the Russian crisis, the Russia-Ukraine crisis that we currently have. And you see that the reason why Russia seems to be able to put up a voice and stand the threats of different nations is because of their tech capacity, the technological advancement, how much of the technological devices that they have able to utilize to defend themselves against any possible war or attack. Now, that's technology as value. Imagine Russia had to use swords and knives and shields to face the United States, Germany, and every other nation that was going to attack them. I do not think they would be boasting in this capacity, but because they can just from the seats of the presidential villa and say, we have a nuclear weapon, and if any of you try nonsense, we will deploy technology to our use. And if at all there are physical combat, you begin to see the applications of technologies like software to control software, artificial intelligence to control the direction and targeting of missiles and weaponry, right? This is a practical application of technology and how it brings value to Russia. Hence, Russia would take an investment of, say, $1 million or $1 billion yearly and invest in their technology capacity for defense. Aside the technology capacity for other use cases, they invest in defense. Like if they invest $1 billion in defense, who is going to consume that $1 billion? People and equipment. So the people that are building those missiles are going to be paid well. The people who are operating those missiles are going to be paid well. And that's where the tech money now comes from. So tech money is not from pit of hell or from manna from heaven. It's none of the above. It's the value that technology brings to the table. Now, another typical example, sorry about the spelling error here, is Dangote versus Facebook. I want you to be able to use this particular example to relate more. Now, in terms of valuation, Facebook is what more than Dangote. But we all realize how much Dangote brings to the table for us here as African consumers. What's the difference? Well, if you check out this business model, maybe there are some points where they infuse technology, like maybe in their manufacturing halls, like in their factories, where they say maybe production belts and those kind of stuff. But that's just technology backing a few processes in the entire Dangote supply chain or value chain, while Facebook itself is a technology company. So if there are 1,000 customers, Facebook has already built one software application. Those 1,000 customers, in order to become customers for Facebook, just need to go to facebook.com and they are already users on Facebook, or download the Facebook app. Now, if we wanted to add additional 1,000 customers, Facebook doesn't need to build another app for those 1,000 users. They just all create accounts. And the worst case scenario is that Facebook just increase their cloud storage capacity in order to accommodate for all these new users. But if Dangote were to serve these same 1,000 users, he probably would sell salt to them or a bag of cement to them. And what's the supply chain for Dangote? In order to make profit from these customers, he has to produce exactly 1,000 bags of cement. And if there are an additional 1,000 users, then he has to produce an additional 1,000 bags of cement in order to capture profit from all of these users. Technology brings a breakage, it brings a reduction in barrier, a reduction in cost for doing business. For Facebook, there's no cost for distribution. They just build an application and make it available on the cloud. And 1 million users, currently they have about 3 billion users, approximately 3 billion users around the world, can access that single application. For Dangote, if he's going to service 3 billion users, then he's going to have thousands of factories, thousands of laborers across those factories, and different operations in order to ensure that you can see that technology, by being included in that part, just changes the business curve. There's what called marginal utility. So the cost for Dangote to serve an additional user in its business goes higher. While can't see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, can.
You can see.
Okay. The cost for Dangote to serve additional users is like higher per new user, while the cost for Facebook to serve another today, if Facebook should get another, if let's say many of us don't have Facebook accounts before, and we all create Facebook accounts today, Facebook doesn't need any new costs to accommodate us. And that's the value that technology brings to the industry. And that's the reason for the trend. It's not a matter of money or people or stories, compelling stories around technology. It's the value that technology brings to the table, not just for companies, but also for nations. Now, so by reason of that value, companies, nations, industries now have increased. We now have increased number of technology companies in the world. You'd have seen the trend of startups. Like how many fintech startups do we have currently in Nigeria? Startup, and they're all tech companies. Why? Because everybody wants to use this value to solve different problems across different industries. Now, there's an increased number of tech-enabled businesses. So there's difference between tech companies and tech-enabled businesses. A very quick example is your retailer. Imagine the retailer that sells at sells at Lagos mainland to students of the University of Lagos. She could actually become tech-enabled such that because she already has a store that is like a mini warehouse that she already keeps commodities, instead of her to be bounded by geography and only students of the University of Lagos, she can decide to enroll on Jumia or enroll on GG or any of those e-commerce platforms. And at the point she enrolls there, or even Amazon, and at the point she enrolls her retail store on those technology platforms, she begins to have access to customers that are beyond her physical location. So they place orders, and then she utilizes logistics system. Maybe she fly the goods abroad or use bike riders and all those logistic platforms to deliver those commodities to them. At that point, she's tech enabling her business, and that increases her efficiency to deliver alongside the profits that she makes per transaction. That's tech-enabled business. So we have increased number of tech-enabled business. Every company that you see now wants to be able to integrate technology in one part or the other in their business. And as all of these things are happening, who is going to build those platforms that make the business tech-enabled? And who is going to build the technology infrastructure that makes you a tech company? Technology talents. Hence, the increase in demand for technology talents. That's why you're needed. Money. That's why, so people are pumping money there. That's why there's money there. So the reason for the trend is not because, hey, there's some manna from heaven falling on the head of tech talent. So like you see when there's oil on your head. So yeah, down to the next slide. At least 40% of all businesses will die in the next 10 years if they don't figure out how to change their entire company to accommodate new technologies. And I put somewhere under there that find the courage to start, like Nike, just do it. So if you're a business owner, find the courage to figure out how to integrate technology capacity in your business to optimize delivery and increase profits. Also, I think there's a quote here I skipped. Sorry. Technology affords you the power to change your world. Yeah. So Dangote is expensive. Facebook is cheaper. So because Facebook is cheap, more investors will come to Facebook, and then Facebook will now worth more. Technology brings very cheap tools to your hands for you to be able to contribute in changing your world. So yeah, down to the next slide. I think. Yeah. So now, what should now be my reason for choosing a career in technology? Is it because technology brings value? That's not enough reason. That's not enough reason. So let me just do a backward flip here. I'm going to go start from the end and then bring it back to this slide. So here, your work is going to fill a large part of your life. Let's read it gently together. Yeah, we don't have to omit. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. This was something said by Steve Jobs during an interview. Think about it. Whatever you settle for, you are probably 18, 19, 25, 30, 35. Whatever you settle for right now is going to fill in a large part of your life. And I don't think you want to spend your years in doing stuff that you are not passionate about or something that you don't even find fulfillment in. It's like, I don't find fulfillment in sales. I don't find fulfillment in maybe study biochemistry. I like to use biochemistry because in this country we don't even we hardly manufacture drugs. That's right word. Yeah, you hardly manufacture drugs, and then you study biochemistry, and then there's no place for you to work. So you begin to teach chemistry in secondary school or integrated science, basic science in primary school. So like that one is not passion. So what else can I do? It's because people are not figuring out how to figure out passion. You think that figuring out passion is about the tools. Well, I want to tell you that every science, every technology, every career path is but a tool to achieve a bigger mission. So be passionate about the mission, not the tools. That way, it becomes a lot easier for you to find your passion. Ensure that you are passionate about a mission and not the tools. The way I like to say it is be passionate or be focused on solving problems. I don't like the fact that there are many poor people in Africa, or I don't like the fact that whenever the international matters are being discussed, Africa is just downplayed. Well, you can actually do starting from your own corner. That becomes a mission. You now say, how do I do something about it? Well, I don't know how you can go about it, but I can tell you how TechSemester is going about that. We think that we can accelerate digital transformation in Africa. So if there's much more digital the quality of life will increase, the GDP would also increase, and by consequence, the way people talk about the quality of life, yes, standard of living of Africans will also increase. Africans will have enough money to afford these stuff that more advanced nations have, and by reason of that, Nobody would talk about Africa the way they have been doing that. And that's what we want to do. We want to accelerate digital transformation in Africa at TechSemester. But to start, we don't just go there and say, oh, everybody, we are building tech solutions. That's practically impossible. So we say, how about we accelerate the supply of technology talents from Africa? So we are looking to help 500,000 people get tech empowered over the next 5 years, and then we increase that number over the further 5 years. That's one way we are trying to rewrite the African narrative, utilizing the provisions of technology. What is your own mission? Be passionate about the mission. Now, if you're a UI/UX developer at TechSemester, you understand the mission, and that is what you are passionate about. So the fact that you are doing UI/UX every day makes more sense to you. You say, I'm designing user-obsessed products. I'm designing user-centered products that ensures that large number of talents across Africa are digitally empowered, such that they will now consequently transform the continent and take it to a greater positioning on the global map. Now, you've been able to put mission and passion to the role of a UI/UX designer. You can never say, I'm passionate about UI/UX design. Why can't you say that? Because about 20 years ago, the major technology tool that we had was typewriting. Now, imagine you said, I'm passionate about typewriting. I want to be a typewriter forever. Because this is the tool that every single business we're practically using at that point. Well, today, are you still a passionate typewriter? Will you only work with a typewriter? So you have to be passionate about a mission. And the more better we think about the mission is think about a problem you really want to solve. Think about it. Many people are in medicine, not because they exactly like to cut someone's stomach, but because they don't like to see people that are unhealthy. Do you know you could also utilize the provisions of technology to build solutions in health that helps keep people healthy? Be passionate about the mission. That way, you're going to find your spots. So technology provides low barrier to entry and very high impact. I've talked about it in Facebook. So that is why a group of teenagers who were still undergraduates at Harvard could just come together and build a platform called Facebook. Just last week, I was asking some people around me, I was like, can you build a university? And they're like, I say, okay, if I thought you want to build a university, how long will it take you? And then like the average answer was like, at least 10 years, because the amount it will cost me, first of all, buy land, real estate, that's because the educational system is a process designed to pass on knowledge from people who already have that knowledge, lecturers and professors, to people who need that knowledge, students, via real estates, buildings. How about we build digital universities powered by classrooms like Zoom, like what we are currently having, and then chat platforms like Slack and WhatsApp? And then those structures now become the new infrastructure via which knowledge is still passed from the person that knows to the person that needs to know. Just like this session, I'm helping you know how you can get started in a career in tech from the little experience I've been able to gather. We can call this a school. At TechSemester, we also think that we are building a digital university for technology talent. And that's what we call low barrier to entry, because we didn't have to have $10 billion to buy land and build infrastructure. We just needed to build this and create a slide, build a web application, and boom, we are already started. So that now makes this quote much more sensible to you. Technology affords you the power to change your world. And you know the beautiful part is the fact that it is sector and industry agnostic. It is sector, and that means there's nothing like technology can only be used in medicine or only in education or only in finance. No, that's why you have fintech. What is fintech? There's the finance industry normally, and technology is now saying we can make things better. Today, Flutterwave is the most valuable financial institution in Africa, much more valuable than GT Bank, which has been existing for over 20 years. Flutterwave is only 6 years old. What on earth gives power to a 6-year-old child to be far stronger than someone that is much more than 20 years old? What on earth? I'll tell you, technology does that. And that's why we have fintech. And that's why there's fintech buzz everywhere, because of the value that technology is putting on the table for people in finance. And today, we can have our money on Kuda and have free transfers. Why? Why can't GT Bank give us free transfer? They don't love us. You are wrong. They love you. But they have about 300 branches, and there are stars in all of those 300 branches. And they have ACs there, laptops there, generator, diesel. They have to pay for all of these costs. But Kuda has one app to maintain. There's just one app for Kuda. And because of that, they don't have the same operational costs that GT Bank has to incur.
And because of that, they can now make transfer free for you and I. That's the value that technology brings to people. And it does not do that only in finance. It does that in health. We call that health tech. It does that in agriculture. We call that agri-tech. It does that in education. We call that education technology. It does that in retail. We call that e-commerce. It does that in transportation and logistics. We call that logistics tech or transport tech. And the list goes on and on and on. Don't be passionate about the two. Be passionate about the mission. Do you want to solve a problem in finance? Technology has got you. You want to solve a problem in health? Technology has got you. You want to solve a problem in agriculture? Technology has got you. Ensure that you put passion and fulfillment in on the table as you choose to settle for a career. We've gone through this slide, yeah? And here, to my final slide, as we bring this session to a close. How to choose the best career path for yourself. Well, yes, there's some passion about the problem, the mission. Tell me how to choose. I want to know whether it's UI UX or data analytics. Well, that's the reason we've designed the Get Into Tech program or bootcamp for you. So first of all, identify your interests and the problems that you are always excited to solve. What are the problems you're always excited to solve? Identify them, take note of them. They could actually span across different fields. No problem. Take note of all of them and find the place where your interest is high. By the time you do a heat map, which one is going to be the boldest on the heat map?
All right, we'll continue our conversations on the handout right after this break.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So now the next is you do a thorough self-assessment to identify your strengths and weaknesses. Now, the truth is that backend engineers have to write a lot of codes. That means you have to be a lot technical. Our content writers need to think about words and how to communicate to the end users. So you also have to do thorough assessment of yourself and figure out what kind of what skills you easily find strengths in or you find easy to do, and those ones that you would not find really easy to do. Do an assessment of your skills and core competencies. Don't say I'm just passionate about UI UX. Boss, technology evolves very fast. Like some years ago, it was all about UI just software. Then at some point, it is all about Clubhouse, audio chat. The next thing is the metaverse, and now it's NFT. Like it will keep on evolving. So if you're passionate about NFT, everybody just evolve past NFT and leave you behind. So you and your NFT passion will just be there looking like a typewriter or a typist who uses a typewriter. So let's have that illustration of the typewriter in your mind. Technology will always evolve. That means you must build yourself to be able to adapt. That means you must be a forever learner. You must always be learning. The way to transition into the technology industry is to come in with that mindset that you always want to learn. You always want to learn. So that means I will just analyze my skill sets and see what kind of stuff at the moment I am best suited for. My skill sets are that means I don't know if you heard what people call full stack engineer. Someone who writes backend can also write front end codes. There's nothing like I'm passionate about backend, and if I touch front end, I'm going to hell. There's nothing like that. And doesn't mean the fact that I do backend and front doesn't mean I can't do UI UX. Just ensure that you also have a focus. By the time you focus on stuff, then you're able to build high level of capacity, such as very much needed, wanted, and haunted in the industry. So yeah, assess the requirements and day in the life of those different career paths. And this is where the Get Into Tech program helps you. Over the next I think 10 days or the next couple of days, we're going to be having different data analytics, UI UX, front-end engineering, back-end engineering, product management, and you will see the day in the life of these different career professionals and see if that is something you would really like. So as you do an assessment of yourself and all of these technology parts and the requirements that are needed in all of them, you now calm down and draw a convergence. Okay, I think I'll prefer this. The truth is that you could be like, for example, right now, I'll give you a very quick example. I think I started out learning about cryptocurrencies. I think I wanted to get rich very quick until I got to the point I realized that, man, you need capital to be able to buy the right cryptocurrencies, and then the thing rises and then you have money. Like, I didn't have shishi. But yeah,
I just like, oh, let me just move on to where I'll find money to be able to come back later to crypto and see how to, multiply my money. And then I took a course on digital marketing. Somewhere I learned data analytics, transition into business intelligence. Sorry, I'm doing a mini MBA, entrepreneurship. And then back, I was like, I need to be technical again in order to get product built. And then I've been a product manager for the most recent part of my life. And all of these stuff I've done, I've found them easy, like not easy, like easy to do. Like I found them easy to go with myself. That means I could literally I could decide choose to specialize in any of those parts, but that decision on what to specialize on now remains my choice on what problem I'm more passionate about solving and how picking that career path would help me do that much more effectively. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm trying to ensure I'm using the best formats to communicate. So yeah, that choice is in your hand. You are the one that will draw a convergence. But then, as you draw that convergence, I will leave you with this fact. I'll let you know earlier on in your career that you never truly know what you love until you try it out. You will never truly know what you love until you try it out. Why? Men, sometimes you just wanted to be in secondary school and never leave there until you try that university and say, man, there's freedom here. You really never truly know what you love. So at some point, you just have to discipline, or you just have to do satisfaction. As I'm contented with what I have. So if there's this new one and I like, this one self is nice, but I'm contented with what I have. That exam that is a trend in NFT and blockchain. I'm tempted to drop what I'm doing and go and check out NFT and blockchain. But boss, you are building something here, you will not even done. You also want to jump over. So those values will need to come in eventually. But yes, at the point you got started, don't feel like if I don't choose it right at the start, then that's hellfire for me. That's not true. As you dive into that career path, check out yourselves. Do you like it? You don't like it? Do you think that if you try this other one, you'll be better off at it? Then feel free to transition. Then test out that new one. Then test out another one. Then test out another one until you truly find what you love. You draw that perfect convergence to say, yes, this is truly what I want to do. I'll leave you with these quotes as I round up this session. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. And I'll tell you a story about this picture I chose. I could have just chosen a picture of Bill Gates when he was giving a speech in one of those Apple products launch and stuff. But no, I chose this one. This one, he was a lot more younger. And look at this picture, he was showing us the picture of a raw apple. Well, Steve Jobs didn't just give us this quote to say the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. He actually lived the quote. He was an example of someone who thought he could change the world via building computers and phones. He said, if I put a computer in front of, he gave this analysis first. He said, well, they did an efficiency analysis of living things. And then they saw that there was this animal, I think you call it, but I've forgotten, that was much more efficient. What's efficiency? The amount of energy it takes you to move from point A to B. Why human being, that's man, was at number 3, right? And then he said, by the time they now measured it again, that's in the 1970s, some scientists did that experiment. By the time they measured it again with the man using a bicycle, man was the most efficient living thing on earth. Like, wow. That means man was not necessarily built to be able to use his head and hand to do everything, but he's built to be able to use his head and hand to build other things that now give him much more superpower to do everything and anything. And then he said, if I can put a computer, because then the computers were really big and only big companies could afford them. He said, if I can miniaturize this computer and put it in front of everybody, then it means that the things that man will be able to do will be completely limitless. And he lived out that dream. And in living out that dream, by choosing a tech stack, because this guy, he didn't study. I don't think he was a tech guru or anything. He was just one guy with nothing, like maybe good sales skill and a few knowledge of tech because of tech trend. He didn't know at the point when he started Apple, he didn't know how to build an iPhone. At the point he started Apple, he didn't know how to build a MacBook or how to build an iOS app, but he started anyway. And what was the consequence of his starting? He turned this raw apple on his hand into the logo of the most valuable company on earth today. Today, Apple is worth over $3 trillion, and Steve Jobs' resilience and his team made that possible. He turned the raw apple on his hands into the logo of the most valuable company in the world today. What is that mission you're passionate about? What is that thing you want to change in the world? What is that thing that you desire to make a difference in via your contribution? I want to tell you that you too can tech. Are you a tech talent? Are you a tech founder? Are you a career professional in sales or in whatever field you find yourself? You too can learn technology skills and get the power that is needed for you to change the world. I'm Arin Zunya Sibilev, and this Get Into Tech program is brought to you by TechSemester. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arinze, for that very powerful and insightful session. I mean, the comment section has been blowing up with comments from people since you started. That was amazing. That was amazing. I did learn a whole lot, and I'm sure everybody in this meeting also learned a lot. I think where you started, for many people who just want to follow the trend, okay, everybody's getting into tech and you just want to follow everybody and just enter the room, and you finally entered the room and you're like, oh my God, how did I get here? But being able to, think about what problem you are trying to solve, that is seeing technology not as an end in itself, but the means to an end where we can use to solve real life problems. And I think you were also able to explain to us that in reality, though there's a scarcity of jobs, but there's no scarcity of work, if only we can open our eyes to the opportunities that technology presents to us. That was awesome. That was great. At this point, because our time is fast spent, we'd like to take questions in case you have any question you'd like to ask Mr. Rinze. If you have any question, please, you can use the raise hand feature so I can unmute you. Or if you'd rather type, you can type your question out in the chat bot session. So I would read it out. Okay, so we have a question. Someone would like to talk. All right. Lamde, you can go ahead.
Okay, hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, I would like to ask, through this Get Into Tech program, would there be opportunities for us to discuss with professionals in giving tech fields? That's the question.
All right. Awesome. Great question. I think if you also paid attention to when Arinze was rounding up, he mentioned in subsequent days, because our next session is on Wednesday by 5 p.m. We would also be having other info sessions on different tech career paths. So we'll be having software engineers, we're having UI UX designers, would have a product manager who's going to come and talk to us about these different fields, because we believe for you to be able to, like you said, you have to try them out. So you are going to be limited by how much you know. So that's why we're advising that you attend all of these sessions so you are able to know which one of them suits you the most. So we're having a session on front end development, back end, UI UX, product management, data analytics. I hope I'm not leaving any out. And because this is the first of its kind for the GIT program, as we go forward, we would also have subsequent tracks coming, like DevOps, would have technical writing, content creation, and all of that. But for GIT 1.0, we're limiting this to only 5 career tracks in tech, which is front end, back end, UI UX, product management, and data analytics. So I hope that answers your question, Olamide. Okay. So, okay, great. So Peace says, should lack of laptop be an hindrance to me getting into tech? I think someone also asked a question like this on our community. Okay, I'm coming to you, Adelaja. So it depends on the track that you want to go into, but like Arinze said, you have to get started first. So you could still take some course, get certifications with your phone, take courses attend tech boot camps with your phone. But it will also depend on the kind of career track you're saying. If you are doing something like, let's say backend, you definitely need a laptop to code, but that should not be your focus for now. How can you get started regardless of the situation you're in? All you have right now is all you need to get started. I hope that answers that. Then, sorry, someone said trying out different fields. Yes, no, we're not really saying you should do everything, get deep into different career paths, but have basic knowledge for you to know what this is about, for you to be able to pick rightly which one you think is best for you. I hope I was able to clarify that. Okay, let me ask Villager. A minute, please. Okay, you can go ahead, Adilaja.
Okay. The question I wanted to ask, somebody already asked it. The question was about the laptop, but I'm going to ask this simple one. Now we have started this tech class today. I don't know how long it will take.
Okay.
How long will it take?
Okay, it's going to be on for the next 2 weeks. Our next session is on Wednesday, and after Wednesday, we have another one on Friday. Then the following week, we have Monday and Wednesday, then Friday.
Okay, Friday.
Then
okay.
it's yes. So this is just an hint for everyone to keep attending each of these sessions, because at the end of the entire program, we'll be giving starter packs across different career tracks. So learning resources that you need to get started would provide that for you. So don't just attend one, attend front end, don't attend back end. You have to attend all of them for you to be able to make the right choice. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Someone asks, can you briefly explain what you know about data science and data analytics? Okay, as much as I would have loved to attempt that answer right now, I can't, because we are running out of time, and we have an info session that is dedicated purely to data analytics. And I think that would be the best time for you to ask our data analysts, data scientists rather, all about data science and data analytics. But I would also like to mention now that we have a question and answer session from 6 p.m. on our Telegram channel. Any question you have at all on how to choose a career path in tech, ask on our Telegram channel. If you are not, you can indicate now, so I would send the link right away. We have professionals who are ready to answer all questions that you might have. So I think I've been able to, Dada Michael Shegun says front end, back end, UI, UX, data analytics, and product management. Product management, that was what I said. So yes, thank you so much everyone for joining us today. I hope you had an amazing time. I did, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again on Wednesday by 4:50 p.m. We'll have a seasoned software engineer talk to us on front-end development. We would also like to hear from you, so you could share feedbacks of this info session on LinkedIn or on Twitter, or even in our WhatsApp and Telegram community. We'd love to hear from you. If perhaps you make a post, you can tag us at TechSemester on LinkedIn and on Telegram. So the slides will be made available on the Telegram channel and across all of the WhatsApp groups, so we'll have access to that. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Bye for now.